Hello Longhorn.
Hello Longhorn.
Hello Longhorn.
Hello, Longhorn. This is a Texas Exes podcast introducing you to Longhorn entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm Sara Light, and today we have Tessie Watson, who is the owner of Longhorn Fashions, which is a retail store in West Campus. And of course, they sell lots of Longhorn fashions. And she got her BS in corporate communications from the Moody College of Communication in 2009. So here's Tessie with Longhorn Fashions. So you did not go to the University of Texas as a freshman.
Busted.
You transferred in. So why did you decide to transfer in?
That's true. So I actually started at LSU. Go Tigers, and also hook 'em horns. But I went to LSU my freshman year.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful campus. The game day experience is next level. It's an amazing experience. Which is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to go there. I picked my school based on the football experience, but I also got a full ride to LSU, so that was like enticing. And I really liked it, but it was tough. I was only there for a couple of days when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Oh.
Yeah, I was probably there for like 5 days when it hit. Had gotten moved into the dorm, was going through rush, and then Katrina hit. And that was just really hard from being, out of state. I mean, it's hard for everybody, no matter where you were. But the cell phone towers were all like down or at capacity. So for weeks, I couldn't call my mom or dad, and they were just worried about me, and I was homesick. And it's just a tough situation to be in for those first couple weeks of school as a freshman. But I started to get, settled back in, and then Hurricane Rita hit. So it's kind of two back-to-back hurricanes. And during Hurricane Rita, I was able to leave for a few days because LSU is really heavy on in-state. And so a lot of people went back to their families in different towns. So I finally went back to Texas, and I actually visited some friends in Austin, and I just kind of fell in love with Austin and wanted to be back in Texas. I knew I wanted to be in Texas long term, so it kind of made more sense to come back eventually. So I ended up transferring to UT. I kind of had in my mind. I did actually, I did the fall semester there, and then I actually went to the Rose Bowl that we won, which was amazing, that Texas won. And after that, I got back from the Rose Bowl in California, and I was just like, I just want to be in Austin. Like, I just need to be there. I know I want to be at UT, so I moved to Austin that January.
Okay. And where'd you live?
That first time I lived at Villas on Guadalupe, which I think is still kicking it over there. But I kind of bounced all over West Campus over the couple years because, every year they raise your rent. And so we would move, my roommates and I would move, and then probably, even out with the amount of money we would spend moving, but we kind of lived at all different apartments over West Campus, and then lived in a house together our senior year, which was really fun.
And you were in a sorority.
I actually, at Texas, I was in Texas Spirits, which was really, really neat. Yeah, so Texas Spirits, when I applied to be in it, they had front row football tickets, which was amazing and like a huge draw for sure. But if you can't see, I make a lot of decisions based on football games. But also, it's a really creative organization. So when you try out, you do this really awesome project that shows your creativity. Yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah, I think I did. Honestly, I'm trying to remember now. It's been so long. I think it's probably like 18 or 19 years ago now. But I think I did a stadium, like a build of the stadium.
Like a 3D?
Yeah. And I remember all my girlfriends and I, they came over and we worked on our projects together, but we spent so much time on those projects. It was like, we really poured our heart into those.
Oh yeah. I was in a sorority, and they would only pick a girl or two from each class.
Yeah.
And I spent so much time, and I thought it was so good. I have no memory of what I did at all. And, we didn't take pictures of things back then, of everything.
I know.
And so I don't remember, but when I did not get in, it was one of my first, heartbreaks.
Yeah. No, it was so hard coming from a sorority. I think it was just one girl for sure. But it was neat. And we painted the drag every Sunday night. And so
the windows?
Yeah, the windows.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So we'd paint them with different events going around town, or like if a team was doing really well, like go softball team or go volleyball. And so
do they still do that?
I don't know, honestly. I'm trying to think about that this morning. If I've seen it drive me down Guad. I'm not totally sure they do, but for me, that was so fun to get to paint the windows with all my friends, and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the main thing you were involved in?
Spirits, yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
And so you were in the College of Communication.
Yeah, I did corporate communications, actually. Yeah, and then business foundations. And I think the business foundations classes were so beneficial, like the accounting and finance, just having like a basic level of everything.
You liked that?
I did like it. Yeah,
I
think it was beneficial, but my comm classes were great for, I mean, there's so many different things. I took a sports marketing class that I loved so much. And then I took a public speaking class, which was so helpful for me because something I think a lot of people don't know about me is I grew up painfully shy. I was very, very shy growing up. And so when I took that public speaking class, I remember the first presentation just shaking the whole time. Like my legs would not stop shaking. I couldn't even control it. It was so bad. I think I cried on the way home. But the teacher was so encouraging and she gave me great tips. And then also just with practice, I had to do 4 to 5 different speeches over that course. So by the 5th one, I just remember finally feeling like a little bit of confidence. Like I can do this. She taught me these things like if your legs are shaking, wear pants. People won't notice as much.
Oh.
Or just some really great tips that were easy to apply. And so courses like that in the comm school, I think really helped me long term. Like there are courses that helped me for the rest of my life.
Good on you for taking that.
Yeah, it was good.
Did you do that on purpose because it was something that scared you?
Yeah, I think I knew. I was like, I need to figure this out.
Good on you. Yeah.
I was like, this seems like I got to get this under control. But it was really helpful. And she was so kind. She was a great teacher, very empathetic. She understood that there's going to be someone in the class that thrives off public speaking and then somebody that it's really hard for. So
do you remember her name?
You know what? I don't, but she was so sweet. I know she has short brown hair. I wish I did. I should have tried to look it up, but she was a wonderful teacher. I had so many great teachers in the comm school. That was just something, they were all so wonderful and personable. And
so I think you went to a lot of football games.
I did go to a lot of football games.
So what was your favorite football game that you went to as a student?
Oh man, as a student, Texas OU for sure. Yeah. There's nothing better than being at the state fair, getting that corny dog after and running all around the fair. Being from Dallas, I grew up going to the fair. Fun fact, my mom got a season pass for the fair because, so my mom's best friend was the person that started fried Twinkies at the fair.
Whoa.
And they still have a booth at the fair. So they gave us a season pass. My mom took my sister and I to the fair 20 times one year. She would pick us up from school and be like, want to go to the fair? And so we went to the fair so much. And we would help them at the booth and we just we loved the fair.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting to go back there with all my friends from UT and just run around and have fun and eat all the crazy food. And I love the games and the rides. So I used to tell people at the store that were looking for a Texas OU outfit, they'd be like, well, what do you think? Should I wear this or that? I'd be like, well, I think you should do the romper, shorts and a cute top so you can go on the rides.
Because skirts and dresses are going to fly.
I'd be like, you might want something like this cute skirt because then you can go on the ride. So I think that's just something that I've always loved. I take my kids to tons of fairs and amusement parks and stuff.
So when you graduated, what did you think you were going to do? You went into marketing jobs.
I did. So I did media buying and then online marketing. So through the media buying, I started doing online marketing because we did paid search for our clients. And then I realized I really liked the online side of things. And that's definitely where things were starting to go with even the media buying. So then I worked at a paid search and SEO agency doing search engine optimization. I knew I always wanted to open a store. If you asked me growing up, that's what I always said. So I think I just needed to figure out the best way to do it or how I was going to go about it.
Did you have a store that you would go to in Dallas that made you think,
oh man, every store. I just liked to I would walk around the mall in my free time.
But that's what I'm from Dallas.
It is what you do in Dallas.
I feel like you just walked around North Park or the Galleria. Because it was a social thing too.
Yeah. Dallas is heavy on shopping. So I think that probably influenced me.
What do you do? Well, you shop in Dallas.
Yeah. And I made purses with my sister in high school. And my first time selling things was in 5th grade. I went and bought all these butterfly clips and then sold them in the girls' bathroom. So I went and bought them wholesale and bought tons of packs of them and then sold them in the girls' restroom.
Wait, how did you even know how to go buy them wholesale? Where'd you go, Sam Moon?
Yeah, actually. Yeah. And so I bought huge packs of them and other things too, like necklaces and bracelets, and sold them in the bathroom to girls. So, because I bought hundreds of them and then they could get them for less from me for buying.
Did you ever get in trouble from the school?
I don't remember specifically getting in trouble, but I do remember phasing it out. So yeah, maybe a little.
Sam Moon was the original Amazon, but in Dallas, it was it was the same type of prices, but where you could go buy stuff.
Yeah, but you would buy it in bulk at that time. I think now they can sell one also more. At that time, they sold it in bulk, so I would buy it in bulk and then go sell it in the bathroom.
Okay, and then you made purses.
And then I made purses. Yeah, leather purses with my sister in high school. And then in college, I worked in retail for a little bit too. I worked at the Francesca's over by Central Market, which I don't think is there any longer, but that was a good experience too. But yeah, I knew I wanted to open a store. I remember I worked at a daycare for a while, and my friend's dad was like, "You're so great with kids. Like, you should be a teacher." And I was like, "Thank you so much. I want to open a store." Like, I just knew it's like something I always knew I wanted to do. My grandpa was an entrepreneur. He grew up super, super poor and started his business. And growing up, at least once a week, he took us to his office and would talk a lot about starting his business and opening it, and now how he did it so he could take us on fun adventures, and how he did all for his family and kind of grew it from the bottom up. So I just think I had that in my mind. Like, maybe if it wasn't a store, it was going to be something else. But I think I was so passionate about shopping that I wanted it to be a store.
So Longhorn Fashions, was that always going to be the name?
No, so that came after I graduated. So yeah, I wasn't sure what I wanted the store to be. I remember thinking like, maybe I also loved traveling. So I was like, maybe I can travel and find things like Guatemala and things all over the world and sell those. And then when I graduated and I was working in online marketing, I had the young alumni tickets. So I was going to all the football games, and I was trying to find like affordable burnt orange apparel that didn't have the logo on it that I could wear to like work still or other events. And we were going to every single game. So I was kind of searching each week for a burnt orange outfit. And that's when I had the idea to do it as burnt orange and white apparel.
Because for those who don't know, like, we did not, when I was here in 99 to 2002, and we dressed up to go to the games, but I don't remember it really being that we would wear burnt orange, because that color just wasn't like, or what the color has become in fashion, that brownish orange rust color. It really wasn't out there.
Yeah, it's hard to find. And I mean, it's hard to find burnt orange items that are made for the heat. So I think you could maybe find like a sweater, but it's hard to find like a sleeveless top that's good for the really hot games.
Like, the fashion at the University of Texas games has upped a ton, in my opinion, at least over the years.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, I look back from pictures when I was at UT, and since I had gone to LSU, so at LSU, all the girls dress up. They wear like sundresses. They go to the nines. It's like a huge event for them. You go with a date. It's kind of like Ole Miss, where you go with a date and you wear like a full outfit and you're totally dressed up for the day. So when I came to UT, I wore dresses, and I would try to find like different. I had like a orange and white tie-dye dress that I loved, or like a pattern dress that I really liked. But yeah, when I look back at pictures, pretty much everybody else is in a t-shirt from those times. We just wasn't really a thing that we did.
Right.
And it has really evolved over the years, for sure.
So you started looking for burnt orange. You couldn't find any. And so you were like,
so I was like, oh, this could be, the specific thing I focus on. And since I was working in online marketing, so I was helping people with small websites kind of grow their website organically. And I was like, wait, I know how to do this. I can make a website and I can grow this for free. And so I literally just started it as a website with probably 20 products on it, a couple tops and dresses that even like a local designer helped me collab on, and then some things from Dallas Market.
Like, you went to Dallas Market?
I went to Dallas Market. Yeah. I got my sales certificate and applied and went. I was so excited.
What does that even mean? Like, how does one get your sales certificate?
You just have to get like a sales tax ID. And I think you have to show a certain amount of purchases to be able to go to market, because they don't want anyone just going in and like buying the wholesale prices. And so since I had worked with the local designer to create like some shirts that said like ATX embroidered on them, I was able to show those invoices, and then I was able to go to Dallas Market, which was very, very exciting for me. Yeah. And at Market, it's just like booth after booth after booth of all the different companies. And so that's where I got to buy some other items. And I was on like a very strict budget. I think I put in $4,000-$5,000 at the time to buy all the inventory, get the website up, everything. Like, it was very low amount. And I kept working in online marketing so that I didn't have to pull any money out of the store the first year. So I used that, started with about 20 products on the website, and then kind of used the skills that I was using for my clients for myself. So I did all the SEO copy. I used social media. Twitter was actually really big then. So I used Twitter for free. Just did anything like any free way to promote it that I could as a website.
So did you have inventory at your house?
Yes. So there's still people that still come to the store, talk about how they came, is my apartment, my 1-bedroom apartment. And they talk about how they came to my 1-bedroom apartment to try on something that they wanted for the game. I have like, there's a a handful of people that still come to the store that will talk about this. And I had a little weenie dog, Toby, and they'll be like, I came to your apartment, your weenie dog was there, I tried it on your bathroom. So 15 years later, they could, they remember when it was only online, and they would be like, oh, I see you're in Austin. Can I come by and grab that? Or like try it on? I'm not sure what size. So they would come by my apartment.
Do you remember how much like you made that first year?
Oh gosh, probably not a lot, but I do remember, it made a profit, but it was mainly just about growing it, seeing what's a hit or a miss,
figuring it out,
having some customers. Yeah, but I definitely couldn't have quit my job at that time. That's for sure. So I think that first year was like, I was still working. I needed like the steady paycheck. I needed that income, but I was meeting customers, growing the email list, growing, the rankings for more people visiting. The more you add products, the more traffic you can get. So I was just kind of growing it that first year and taking it from there. But it definitely was like doing well. I feel like it was growing month over month. So that was exciting to me. And I was starting to see the demand definitely during football season. So then I needed to figure out like, what am I going to do in the spring to keep this busy if I'm ever going to be able to leave my job? I need to have like a year-round plan.
So when did that happen? When did you...
The year-round plan?
Yeah, the year-round. And when did you, when you started online to when you opened up your first brick and mortar, what was how long?
So it was 3 years from online to my first storefront, which was tiny, the first storefront, but it was a great deal. The rent was amazing.
And it was in West Campus.
It was, yeah. It was on 23rd Street. So it wasn't far, but it was just... Yeah, the rent was incredible. I wish I could go back to that rent for sure. But it was a great first starting point. And I knew that people wanted to be able to try on the clothes. So the thing with game day is like, you're looking for an outfit on Tuesday for Saturday, or even like we have honestly Thursday, Friday are our busiest days before a game. So you're looking at the end of the week. You don't have time to like order something online at that point, or know that it's going to fit, or know that it's going to come in and be the right shade of burnt orange or the right style that you're looking for. And so with the game day kind of being a specific date and a time crunch, you want to be able to go somewhere and like try that on. So I knew that demand was there to have a physical location. And so I knew I wanted to do that. But yeah, I definitely need to figure out like, how am I going to pay this rent in January and February and March? I would always save from football season. Like I would definitely try to cover that, but I still wanted to make sure I had some sort of plan. So honestly, every year I just tried to find the it item for that spring or that winter. And so one year, I think the year before it went from website to storefront, it was like this Aztec print sweater. I don't know if you remember those, but it's this like black and white Aztec print sweater, and they were super popular. And we were shipping them all over the US. We just figured out this sweater, like this pattern, everybody was wanting at that time. This was in like 2012. And so my mom was helping me, and we were just shipping them all over and just replenishing them and shipping them out. And so even though the storefront that was before the storefront. So even though it wasn't like burnt orange or game day sales, we're just doing something to keep it busy. And then, every year it's just something different. Like, for a few years I focused on like graduation dresses for the girls. So our date night dresses or date event dresses for the girls. And then 3 years ago is when I started the hat bar. And then that really helped us become like a year-round business.
Yeah. So a couple things, like going back to those days, you've always had I remember going into your first store. I don't know how I found you. I was working on the radio here in Austin, and I think I wanted burnt orange jeans, but I didn't want to buy them without trying on. So I think that was the very first time that I ever went in your store. And then I think I might have followed you on social, so I knew kind of who you were. And then I think I got embarrassed because I walked in and then I knew who you were. Like this was such an intimate thing to go into a store. Yeah. Because you get to know your customers.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that, I don't know, but I remember going in and being like, oh yeah, hi, I'm here for some burnt orange jeans.
Yeah, no, I literally remember you coming in. I can remember us talking. There was that big like rectangle table, and I can remember us talking like across from the table, and I was like so flattered and honored that you were at the store too. But I remember the whole like conversation and talking to you, and it was just so crazy because that was probably the first year of the store. So but yeah, I remember that. And that was the great thing about the storefront, was connecting with customers.
And you're so good about that. Like, you know so many people, because when they come in, you take care of them. So yes, you're a business, but you're also a host, and you have to like host them in your home. Yeah. And I think just, when I first had the storefront, and
and before I had kids, I was there every day. Like I made it a priority to be there every day. And a lot of that was to get to know my customers.
So what does that mean? You were there every day from what, 11 until about 7 at night?
Yeah. I mean, I think 6 or 7, but it was just like, I wanted to get to know my customers and I wanted to be there and make sure they had a good experience. Like I worked every game day, like every Saturday, because that was our busiest day. And I wanted them to meet, like I wanted to meet them and know what they were looking for and then know that it went well for them and get to know them. And that's why I think I have such a strong relationship with so many people from the, first days. And I still am there, almost every weekday and as often as I can be. It's just with 2 kiddos, I prioritize that too. But
sure,
I feel like just putting that time in at the beginning was really beneficial to me.
Harder than you thought it would be?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've really enjoyed it and I've learned so much, but it's hard for sure. And there's definitely just the stress of always making sure that you have enough to, cover rent and payroll and more inventory and your own expenses. And, there's just a lot of stress in making sure you're always hitting the numbers. So.
Well, because kind of going back to not all retail locations last so long because we're fickle as customers.
Yeah.
And different things happen with the economy and shopping and trends and shopping online and everything has changed. And so trying to run a solitary store that, yes, does have an online presence too, has to be really hard. Like it sounds, oh my God, we'll just open up a store. It'll be so fun, but it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think you constantly have to be thinking about like, what can I offer that's new and different and is going to keep people to come back. Like people are going to want to keep coming back to your store. And then even off, from the beginning, like what can I do to get people in? Like people aren't just going to immediately show up and know it's there and know what you offer. Like how can I get the word out about this? So
let's talk about custom hats. Like over the past couple of years, I assume that this is like just opened up your business in a whole different way that you decided to do a custom hat bar.
Yes.
And, that's like a very popular thing now. The nice thing about yours is that it's affordable. It's not a $600 hat.
Right.
It's a much more affordable hat. First of all, so why'd you decide to do that? And did you ever think it was, I'm curious, like how big of a chunk of business that is for you now?
Yeah. So I think it was a little over 3 years ago. I was trying to think, okay, what am I going to do this spring to keep it steady? What am I going to do to like drive sales and drive traffic? And this was in January. I was thinking this. I was like, okay, I need the rest of the year to finish out strong. Or, I think of the year, I guess I'm thinking in like the fall and the spring. So kind of like the school year.
Yeah.
Finish it out strong until May. So I was trying to think of like what I could do. And I realized like, I have this whole corner of the store I'm not really using. Like I could try to do a custom hat bar. And I remember texting 2 of my girlfriends and I was like, I think I'm going to do custom hats. Like, do you think that's overdone? Like, I'm not sure. And this was 3 years ago. So at this point, there weren't nearly as many people doing it, but I just wasn't sure. And they were so encouraging. They're like, no, you should do it. That's awesome. Like, definitely go for it. And I was like, okay, well, I could get groups to come in. Like, I want to make it more of a group activity that people do together. So I wanted to keep the price low so that if you're on a work trip or bachelorette party or birthday celebration, you can come in with your girlfriends and it's like they're asking you to spend, if you're on a bachelorette trip, they're asking you to spend maybe like $90 to $112 or something. Like it's not going to some of the other hat bars that have popped up that, like Kimosabi, where it's,
they're so awesome.
It's incredibly expensive.
It's really expensive.
Like it's something that you might decide to treat yourself to, but you're not going to bring your group of friends there. Like you're not going to ask your friends to spend that money. And so I just wanted to make it affordable and make it where you can come and enjoy it, but not break the bank. And so that's the main way that we try to set it apart from other ones, is just keeping the price point lower, but they're still great quality hats. And we have a lot of options. And if you want to go totally crazy with your hat and add all sorts of things, you can, but it's still not going to be very expensive. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, it's like a hat bar. They can go in, you'll brand initials, you'll brand different fun things. You have tons of different straps you can put around and feathers. And now it's opened up to where you're going into like corporate parties are coming in. You're going and doing parties at the football stadium. You're going to music festivals in California. Like people are hiring you to bring your service. Did you ever think that would happen?
No, I mean, I think I couldn't have estimated the scale of it for sure. So I remember I totally manifested this hat bar too, by the way. Like I was like, okay, I'm going to get some hats, get some ribbons, just figure it out, make it work. But I was like, I would sit there and make a custom hat and then post and be like, look at this cute custom hat from today. And so I just kind of manifested it that it would be something and that people would want to come in and make these. And I just started it by doing it myself with like a small amount of inventory, kind of similar to how I started Longhorn Fashions to begin with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was definitely trying to imagine like groups coming in together and making it something a little bit bigger, but I don't think I would have ever guessed the opportunities that have come out of it.
That you would be in California making one for Serena Williams.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been incredible. I think it just, I remember asking a friend if she could help me find a contact to do the hat bar at ACL 3 years ago. And so I asked her and they gave us a booth in the VIP section of ACL and we just poured our heart into it. We worked so hard. It was incredibly hot and we worked all weekend, both weekends, and made all these cool hats. And then from that kind of stemmed a lot of other opportunities. Like some people with Live Nation saw our booth there. So they reached out for other festivals. And then that's how we got to do Bottle Rock, which was the one in California, which was just a huge event for us. And definitely probably my proudest moment over the past 15 years was being at Bottle Rock for the, getting invited back for the second time. And having the honor of making Serena Williams and her family a hat. And we made Stephen Curry a hat, Stephen Curry and his wife, who was gorgeous and beautiful and so sweet.
And you're, by the way, like when you're branding stuff, and I don't know if you had the flame out there, but you're having to actually put it on the hat. So I'm sure at the moment you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to make Serena Williams hat perfect.
Yes.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah. I made her daughter Olympia a hat and she wanted to spelled out her entire name and she was helping me pick out all the letters and she was so precious. But I was branding it for her and I was like, I gotta make this perfect. And she's like holding my hand and rubbing my arm, like the cutest little girl in the world. But I mean, my body was shaking. So I like definitely, when they left, we were just like so grateful. But it took me probably 30 minutes to come down from that. Yeah.
Also, like sports have changed. So you go back to where, of course, football season. And I just think that the anticipation for fall fashion also has changed in the past 5 years to where we're all primed and ready in July, August to see what the fall fashion is going to be. But because of the sports at the university and because now I feel like there's more softball fans and basketball fans and volleyball fans, is there a better year-round shopping looking for Born Orange stuff? Is it starting to tick up?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, definitely, our baseball team has been doing really well the past couple of years and softball too and some of the other teams. And so people will be coming in for Burnt Orange. And then a big market for us is definitely like the wives of the different coaches. And so, the wife of the softball coach will come in and I have definitely gotten to make relationships with a lot of them. I think I just remember I was, became close with Quinn's mom the past couple of years. And when I went to the bowl game in Dallas in January with the snow and everything, I got to Dallas late or, later than all my friends. And so by the time I parked and walked all the way over to the stadium, they were all like up in their seats. I couldn't find anybody. And then Quinn's mom texted me and I ended up, the only person I saw that game out of everybody that I thought I was going to see was Quinn's mom and his two sisters who were so nice. And I brought them special buttons and got to give them a big hug. But I was like, well, that was kind of neat. Like I didn't find my friends, but I found the whole Ewers family. So, and they were just always so supportive. And there's so many people like that have just been, it's amazing. Like how many people have kind of lifted me in the store up and helped me along the way. So
I like it's funny because last week the episode that aired is P. Terry's and they're so emotional about their customers and you are too.
Yeah.
Like it's not a business you can just like, it's not turnkey.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think the relationships that you build are so important. Like that's, I would say the number one reason why still in business 15 years later are because of the relationships. Like people that have shopped at the store from the very beginning or even just the past couple years and have really like supported me and they come back because they know me and they want to support a small business. They know they could maybe get something on Amazon, but instead they come to the store and support me instead. And that's a really great feeling.
So you usually go to all the games.
Yes.
And you've even gone to a game by yourself, right? Like
yeah, no, I went to the game in January by myself.
That's right. That's when you went.
Luckily I found the Ewers family. Yeah. I mean, I have a great group of friends, but
I just love that sometimes you're like, but I got to go. So I'm going to go by myself, whether I found one ticket or two. I'm going.
I got a great seat for one ticket. I really found my way in there. But yeah, I love going to the games. My son is a huge fan now. Like taking him to the games the past year has been a whole nother experience. I mean, he wants to stay till the very, very end and sing Eyes of Texas, which just means so much to me. And like, I would take him to every game if I could. Like, he loves it so much. And yeah, I love going to games. Honestly, I think I've always been a big fan, and then it is beneficial for me to be there and see what people are wearing and kind of looking around the stands and being like, oh, I didn't even think about like that trend, or, oh, that's what that looks like in person if I had seen it, and kind of, and, you know, I run into customers all the time at games, which is great too. Yeah. But yeah, I did. I went to the bowl game in January by myself and I had a good time. I remember the people next to me were like, do you always come to the game by yourself? And I was like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Okay. So when you were a student, these are the questions we ask at the end. First of all, do you have a favorite memory? Like big or small?
Yeah. Okay. So my favorite memory is the snow days that were my sophomore year. So we were all gone for Christmas break. And then we come back, and on it's supposed to be the first day of class, but instead classes are canceled for snow. And it's just like light snow, you know, Texas. And so they canceled classes, but we were all back. And so it was one big reunion, and we had so much fun. And we literally just ran around from apartment to apartment playing like different games and hanging out all day long and catching up. And it's this big kind of celebration. And we were wearing like just regular jeans and like a light jacket because we didn't even have snow gear, and we're just running around having fun. And I remember my roommate and I running to our friend's apartment, and West Campus, just like our jeans are all soggy from the snow, and just, you know, we didn't even care, and we were just yelling, I love my life. And I think that just kind of sums up my time at UT. Like, we had so much fun and just, you know, made the most of any situation and just had great friendships and great memories.
That's awesome. Do you remember a favorite place to go get food?
Oh man, I mean, I loved Kirby Queso when I was a student.
Was the Kirby Lane? It was there on the drag at the time. Yeah.
It was, yeah. And Kirby Queso, I feel like just always hit the spot. It was so convenient. And yeah.
And then what advice for somebody who says, I want to have a store one day? Where should they start?
Yes, I think my favorite thing to say is start small, dream big. And so that's how I started with the website. Like, I started so small. Like, I didn't take out a loan. I didn't quit my job immediately. I didn't open 2 brick-and-mortars.
Have you ever had to take out loans? Probably
no. Luckily, I haven't. Yeah, which is really nice, because that would be stressful, honestly, to have that kind of over you. That you.
So you've paced it to where it grows.
Very
when
much
you grow.
so. Yeah, I really paced it a lot, and so I'm glad for that, because I grew my customer base. I figured out like what was doing well and what wasn't. I just grew my experience. I grew, you know, everything. Started really small and gain like valuable insight before I ever got that first storefront. And then when I opened the storefront, that was learning experience too, but that storefront was tiny and the rent was affordable. So it was manageable for me. And then with the bigger storefront,
22nd and Pearl, basically.
Yeah, 22nd and Pearl, that was a whole nother level for me and a lot more stressful. Just a lot more overhead, and the rent is just significantly more, but I felt prepared for that at that moment. Like, I had all these years of experience and I had these relationships. Like, I felt like if I ever, you know, needed to like get a loan at that point, I would have much more experience going into that and kind of know what I would need that to look like. Like, I just had a lot behind me at that point that I could carry with me. But, you know, it's okay to dream big. Like, when I started the website, I knew I didn't just want a website. Like, I definitely wanted a storefront, you know? And like, when I started the hat bar, which was making a couple hats by myself, like, I knew I wanted people to come make hats and to host. I knew I wanted to host hat parties and bigger events. So you can start it small, but have the bigger picture in mind.
Yeah. Well, so this season y'all can go, if you are in Austin, you can go to Longhorn Fashions. You can shop longhornfashions.com. But yeah, thank you so much, and hook 'em horns.
Thank you. Hook 'em.
Yeah, hook 'em.